They're planting a seed, but they want you to water it and nurture it and have it grow with your attention. And ideally fear attention. So attention, let me actually type this out. So they want attention plus fear or emotion. Plus. We'll say plus emotion. Attention plus fear. Attention plus emotion can create action. Okay. So if you take action to say, oh, I better go get more masks because of this hantavirus or something, you are starting to make it real. And these type of things happen all the time, for good or bad, conscious or unconscious. That's how a lot of this stuff works. So if you start taking action on it from your emotional response, that makes it more real. You're giving life to it. So when we go look online and we're giving all attention to, we're giving our attention away. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, before social media, before things like reels and whatnot, you could be very focused and disciplined on a couple things that you needed to do, and you had a much more peaceful life. You could be in a flow state. You cannot be in a flow state when you have a disruptive, distracting environment. Seeing titties all the time, seeing ass, seeing someone jump off a building, seeing, I don't know, some crazy stuff, the next craziest news story. That is to not only just garner your attention a little bit, but destroy your ability to have a focus level of attention for a long period of time. That's why I like you guys stay on these shows a long time. This is like a gym for your attention. I want you to think outside the box and kind of stay focused on a certain point for a little bit. Most people cannot do that. Most people don't have, I don't know, I guess that type of discipline. So, I am here to try to make it entertaining. This isn't like about doing work, but that's part of what it is. And your attention is also linked to, so companies view your attention as data. So we're going to look at how that also plays into the money side of things.
Your age, your income, your gender, the things you like to share with your friends, the things you would like to keep to yourself, combined with the thousands of other data points, have become $1 trillion savings account for the biggest tech companies in the world. And in the next 5 years, they are going to start making.
And again, these cameras, and what are they doing? They're putting attention on you. You see that? They're putting attention on you to also track what you're doing, your behaviors. But what is a camera? If you think about it, what is a camera? It's a device that channels attention. That's what it is. It captures something, but what is it capturing? Or recording. It's kind of recording basically a human perceiving something. Is it's a machine, but ultimately it's going to be some human that will review it.
Withdrawals.
I want to make sure I pause it enough. I don't know if this is copyright, so fair use.
Under mounting pressure to answer questions about how a data firm with ties to President Trump's 2016 campaign collected private information from more than 50 million.
And again, you're not going to be able to hide all your data with VPNs and stuff like that. They're going to have it, it is what it is.
Facebook users without their permission.
Political campaigns want to advertise to voters in the most efficient way possible.
General of Washington, D.C. filed a lawsuit Wednesday against Facebook over the Cambridge Analytica scandal.
Again, anytime you have to sign one of those things to update or something like that, they use your data. They're selling you data. Facebook was also partly started by DARPA. They're watching what you do. Like, we know this, but they're not just watching what you do, waiting for you to do something bad or say the wrong thing. they're trying to see how you tick. You're a lab rat to them, essentially. So they need to take as much data as they can.
No secret that big tech companies have been collecting petabytes of data on every user they can
I
lure
never even heard of a petabyte
onto their platform.
I'm very concerned that the people that are spending most of the time right now speaking and focusing and thinking about big data are large companies and governments. And that's fine, but this is going to affect our lives, our parents, our kids, and I think we should all be.
Well, we're already there, man. This is something people would talk about a couple years ago, and just no one would care. But still, kind of no one really does.
Big data has become one of the most attractive assets to investors. Companies like Snowflake, Teradata, and Palantir that do nothing but compile and manage billions of data points and turn them into useful information are worth billions.
Because they're trying to make an algorithm of you to know what you were going to do.
Billions of dollars.
And not just as, this is not just as a consumer. This is the one thing I want to point out here. This is not just as a consumer, because that's how they pitch it to you. Oh yeah, this is just so we can figure out what products to sell you that suit you best. That's all. We're actually trying to help you. No. Yeah, they'll use that to help you, but they want to know what you eat, how you think, every little thing, everything.
Data manager Snowflake was so attractive that they even got the legendary Warren Buffett to change his investing strategy around tech IPOs so he could include them in his portfolio. Those are just the companies that make sense of your data, the companies that can actually harvest.
Again, just one thing about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a disciplined trader, yes, and he's done it for a long time, but his dad was a senator in Omaha. So he's been doing insider trading and known stuff for a long time. Is he a disciplined trader? Yes. But his dad was also a senator. He's been linked into the shit the whole time.
In his portfolio. Those are just the companies that make sense of your data. The companies that can actually harvest it are worth trillions. And that's because your information is useful for so much more than just targeted advertising.
Whenever we're online, information brokers collect our data and use it to assemble user profiles that can earn
a dossier on you.
And them a lot of money.
Jeff Bezos may or may not be using Alexa to listen out for product recommendations.
What do you mean may or may not? Of course he's doing it for that. That's part of why they put it in your household, to record what you say and stuff like that. It's not to record what they say because they care about really what you're saying. It's more about compiling data, creating algorithms and things like that. Things like that. This is why I worry about the data centers, because what are the data centers doing? They're just processing this information quicker. But all of this will be used against you. They're going to say, oh, you see this stove here? It's a smart stove. He turns it on for 30 minutes from 6:30 to 7 to cook his dinner. Let's see if we can get that down to 20 minutes. It's not to save you money. You'll still probably pay the same bill, but they're going to say, well, we don't want you to use as much electricity because the data processing center actually needs that more than you heating up your spaghetti or boiling tea and shit like that.
Have a Sunday.
But that's just the cherry on top of the big data sundae. There are much more profitable business strategies used by the big data companies than using your data to recommend you a new toaster. Big data is becoming a new big oil because memory storage.
See this? They're calling it the new big oil. See, I didn't even know that they were going to say this, but yeah, these 55-gallon drums are equivalent of what your data makeup, your DNA data makeup. Are you looking at corn? Are you not looking at corn? Are you watching football? Are you watching reality TV? Are you looking at alien stuff? What products are you buying online? What medications are you taking? Like, it actually gets crazy. How much are you spending in gas? Which gas stations did you go to? Like, it's actually endless.
Which has become orders of magnitude cheaper. In the 2000s, big tech companies started to realize that their data would be highly monetizable through commerce and direct sales to third-party data brokers. So they started to collect as much as they could.
But data brokers often take all the breadcrumbs that they have gathered about you
pair them with other data they can obtain, and then share all of it with businesses who want to market to you. And they will frame this as a win-win.
Back then,
It's not just marketing. This is what I'm talking about. It's not just marketing to you. That sounds nice and stuff. It's not just marketing to you. That it's beyond that. It's really beyond that. In my opinion, it's definitely beyond that.
Pair them with other data they can obtain, and then share all of it with businesses who want to market to you. And they will frame this as a win-win.
Back then, high-volume data center memory still cost as much as $10,000 per terabyte, and it was stored on highly inefficient hard drives. All web companies had to store some transactional user data, like login information.
So this is what I'm also trying to say about these data centers and stuff. A lot of it is just going to simply be used on stuff against you. So they're going to have a lot on file to use against you. It's not really going to be to serve you. They'll actually make you pay to access your own data they already basically like stole from you.
As a matter of fact, Snowboard, do you remember, was it Andrew Yang? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I remember Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang, yeah.
So, and you more likely, you may know more about this than I do. But when he was making his presidential run, excuse me, he did have a very interesting point of view in regards to UBI, Universal Basic
Yeah,
Income.
he said some good stuff.
Yeah, but his ideal behind it, I thought was brilliant. All of these companies are generating. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
It's huge, yeah.
Collecting our data, collecting our attention, learning how to sell, market to us.
And we're talking medical data, every goddamn thing, everything. Everything you can imagine, blood type, everything.
And so his point of view was, how do we fund UBI? These companies have to pay us a percentage of the income that they derive from our information. And I don't know why that didn't get more airplay and that didn't get more time. I mean, I have my opinions around that.
It's sensible, so they're not going to have that. Yeah.
And so, it was very interesting. And like I said, I wish they would have talked more about that, because to me, that was brilliant.
That was a really good idea. I didn't know he was trying to derive it from that.
If I can find some information about it, I'll forward it over to you in the Discord.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's but this data is so valuable, and it's not really talked about because it's not the data itself per se, it's what they can predict from it. You know what I mean? Like, we go back to Warren Buffett. We just saw a picture of him. He's someone who would be like a mad scientist with all this data and be able to really figure out how to manipulate a market. Most of it's used in market manipulation. It's not to serve you. It's to pretty much go against you.
So keep in mind, I was in the mortgage industry for a decade before I switched to banking and finance. And so when I tell you, I have looked at tens of thousands of credit reports and bank statements, it's not hyperbole, over the past 20 years. And, when I talk about, Negrodamus and stuff like that, I'm not joking, because I can literally look at your credit report and your last 2 bank statements, and you'd be surprised at how much I know about you, your life, what you value. And people, people were always shocked with how much I could tell and how much I knew about them. And it's like, it's not right.
And that's only 2 data sets, really.
Exactly.
They have literally hundreds, if not even more. They know like when you're taking a dump. I'm pretty sure Facebook knows when you're going to take a dump, and like think about it. You have your phone in your pocket, so it can every phone has GPS in it by default since the very first cell phone. So they almost know okay, he's walking to his stove, he's walking back to his computer, he's walking here. They know everything that happens.
As a matter of fact, maybe I shouldn't say this in case because I know how much of a criminal mastermind Keyshawn Jones is, so maybe I shouldn't say this, but as a matter of fact, that's one of the ways they solve crimes. They look to see the cell phone data in that area. We've seen enough. We've seen enough true crime videos where they've had nothing but just the color of a car. We knew it was a white, Ford Taurus, and they ping all. They look at all. They can pull all the cell phones that was in that area, and then they actually caught someone.
Sorry to say that. What that's also called, it's not just the cell phones. There's a whole different thing of it, which is a different type of data gathering thing called the flock system. I'll type it in, flock, FLOCK. The flock system is similar to what CGRIP is saying. So once they find it's a white car or whatever, then your local police department or even other people can put it into the flock system. The flock system is cameras on stoplights, street corners, toll booths, shit like that. You almost can't drive anywhere. You probably have to be way out in the country to not be seen by something like that.